Hello, everybody. I never thought I'd get into this stuff, but every time I hear this person talk about that little boy or the young man that is missing, been missing for a little over 2 months. That guy there is his stepdad. He is so rude, Mr. Sourpuss, Pickled Puss, a-hole, bully, narcissistic egg. Um, you name it, he's that. Now, before I get on to the video, I want to show you the proof of what this man's really like and why these people continue to sit there and let him talk and be belligerent. He's not saying nothing, he's just a grouch. More than a grouch. Okay. Okay, here it is. Signs and symptoms of the, let's see, I think it was symptoms of autism spectrum disorder. That was just the younger ages, and he's well past that. Okay, restricted repetitive behaviors or interests. Okay, lines up toys or other objects and gets upset when order is changed. Repeats words or phrases over and over. Called echolalia, echolalalia. Plays with toys the same way every time. Is focused on parts of objects, for example, wheels. Gets upset by minor changes. Has obsessive interests. Must follow certain routines. Flaps hands, rocks body, or spins self in circles. Has unusual reactions to the way things sound, smell, taste, look, or feel. Other characteristics: delayed language skills, delayed movement skills, delayed cognitive or learning skills, hyperactive, impulsive, and or inattentive behavior, epilepsy or seizure disorder, unusual eating and sleeping habits, gastrointestinal issues, for example, constipation, unusual mood or emotional reactions. Here's the big one: anxiety, stress, or excessive worry, lack of fear or more fear than expected. Okay, now we get to this little boy is missing. And I pray so hard, to God that he be found. And every day that goes by is more heart overwhelming than ever. I mean, I can imagine what his real dad's going through. And what gets me, Mr. Sourpuss, makes matters worse. That's my opinion.
Is finding Sebastian and maintaining the integrity of the investigation. And so there's some things that aren't going to be public aren't privy to, and there's good reason for that. Very good reason for that. You know, not everybody understands the way investigations work, but I was fortunate because my father was law enforcement. So got a firsthand look at that, and I understand it can just be so frustrating. Trish,
Okay, here it comes.
there's somebody backstage.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Coming.
Always
And
interrupting.
we ask everybody to be respectful to the
Yes.
host and the guests on our show.
No
Have to be
crafty comments, please,
right.
okay?
This is
crafty.
about the missing child, and
Right.
that's all that matters.
And we will always be polite to our guests. Okay, so who do we have here? Who do we have here? I've put you on the platform.
You have me, Chris.
Hi, Chris Proudfoot.
Hello.
I really appreciate you coming here. I'm going to change the banner really quickly so everybody knows it's you. But I don't know how long you've been listening.
Long enough.
Okay, you sound angry. Talk to me.
Oh, I'm very.
Talk to me. We don't want to get you. The last thing we want to do, Chris, is cause problems between you and Seth. I swear to God.
Well,
So
I understand that, but let me help you with something.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of the information that I've been listening to on your show, coming from Chloe, the questions that are coming through people, it's very sickening and disgusting, to be personally honest with you.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So let me go ahead and address a few things to help y'all out.
Okay.
Since Chloe, you're the PI, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You haven't even called me. You ain't done anything. First off,
Heather has
Heather
been
is the only one. Heather is the only one who has reached out to me or to my wife.
Thing is, I can't understand why he is the one that everybody has to freaking call. Like he's in charge of everything. He's a disgusting bully. Narcissistic behavior. Has no thoughts for anyone else but himself. Selfish.
I
So for you to
actually
sit
reached
on this
out to
show
you
and sit
a
here
month or
and give
so ago.
information
And
that you have, that you don't have all the answers to, is a problem.
Okay, well, Chris, help us understand, because I know Chloe, and Chloe wants to help. And the last thing Chloe would do is want to put out misinformation. And the problem is.
Okay, I understand that. So let me just smash something real quick.
Okay.
Okay, first and foremost, anything that goes on between me and my wife is not a damn bit of anybody's personal business. I don't care what you think. I don't care what y'all got to say. That'd be like me splashing all your business out to the world.
Okay.
It does not matter what goes on in my house. We're looking for my son. That's real simple.
Your stepson, right.
If he was your son, which he is not, I don't know if you know what you're. He's not your son. Your wife is the one that needs to be talking. Something happened to that little boy or that young man. And I'm like getting kind of sick and tired of hearing you flap your gums every dang day. You're just too dang scared to talk to somebody who's going to tell you what they think. That's what you're scared of. You pick the ones that are going to kissy and not get to the meat of the point. Then I would quit babying him.
It doesn't matter. Stepson, my son. All the kids are treated as if they your own. There is no title, a stepson, a son. It does not matter. That boy is loved by me just like he is my own. Just like he's my own.
Okay, Chris, may I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been doing this for a long time, and let me tell you why people are asking personal questions about you and your wife. Okay, it's because of the situation in which Sebatian has gone missing, and they're wondering if whatever happened between you and your wife, does it have something to do with Sebatian going missing? I swear to you, it's not to be nosy. It's not to be rude. It's just trying to figure out what happened to Sebatian. And
Okay.
What happened probably. Now, if you could picture this man here, this angry man all the time, and he's done it to Seth at a vigil. But this person that's speaking right now, this man, or he ain't even a man. This disgusting POS. I can picture him getting. He complains that boy gets into people's faces at school and stuff like that, gets in their face. Well, guess what he does? He probably does the same thing, and that kid does it too, because he's mimicking what that man does. And it's that man's fault. So don't sit there and say all this stuff about the poor little young man that's missing and don't say anything about him getting in people's face because you do it. You don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
So let me make this even crystal clear for you.
okay,
And everybody out there that's got all these negativity, disgusting comments and questions that y'all think you know anything about, when honestly you don't know a damn thing. And that's the problem. You assume, you speculate, all this crap. You have no idea what me, my family, my wife, everybody involved is going through, to include Seth, his mom, and everybody else.
okay.
Because it's the vile, disgusting crap that comes out of people's mouth. Yes, I'm a very pissed off stepfather to this whole situation.
Okay, and I understand, and I hear what you're saying.
This here is a diversion tactic to get you off the real issue. Now, if he's worried about finding Sebastian, he would keep his mouth shut. And what I think him and the real father and the boy's mother, the young man's mother, should go to court, get a mediator, so they don't have to deal with each other, because it's just a train wreck. It's gonna be a train wreck.
But again,
So let me help y'all some. Because
okay,
y'all said some shit that's really, y'all have no, it's really none of your damn business. But since you brought it up, I'm clear it.
okay.
My parents didn't go to Alaska 2 days after he went missing.
I don't think
Why my
anybody said
parents
that.
went to Alaska was
That is
because
not.
my stepfather went for work.
Okay, nobody said they went 2 days after he went
Oh
missing. They
no, it's
said
out there, trust me, because I have
Okay, I did
terabytes.
not say that.
I
nobody
didn't say
said that
you,
here.
I
Okay,
said people.
okay,
Now I have terabytes of videos of Seth on here saying some vile stuff. I've got videos of everybody and their comments out here.
but
Trust me. What I'm bringing to you is not that I'm just pulling stuff out of the air.
Obsessive compulsive behavior. I don't know why people pick these poor kids that have autism, and lately it's been a freaking fad. I have seen a kid where I live, but probably about two hour, 2.5, 3 hours away from where I live. They starved him to death, tortured him, put him in a closet, put him in pull-ups. He could only use the bathroom like so many minutes to go to pee, and the other one to go the number two. Put in cold ice baths. And you got cameras in your home? That's exactly what that mother did with, and her stupid ass 20 year old kid followed her directions. Poor kid. I mean, they teased him with food, locked everything up. Now I could see putting things up and like that if they get into it and you're saving it for something. But you don't torture kids. And you don't get in their face. You don't call, and you probably call them stupid, dummy, just like she did. You don't know nothing. You're just a stupid idiot. I could just hear it.
I understand. No. And Chris, I'm glad you cleared that up. That's a
So,
good.
and by the way, they didn't go for a month.
Okay.
They went for 2 weeks. My stepdad went on business. My mom went with him. But it's really nobody's business.
Well, but Chris, let me, and please understand. I swear to God, I'm coming from a place of understanding because I've been doing this for years. Okay. Here's the thing. When you ask the public for help, they're going to look at everything and try and figure out what happened to Sebatian. And let me tell them, from an outsider looking in, it's okay. His parents left town shortly after. Was there a reason? Did they take Sebatian with him? It is speculation that I am sorry it's hurtful to you, and I understand it. And that's why it's important that you clear it up. Just clear it up. Nobody's trying to be hurtful or mean. I promise you, we've all been asked to help find Sebatian. And this is what we do. We try and think outside the box. We try and ask questions and think outside the box and figure out what has gone on.
But
it is
your
not
problem with thinking outside of the box does nothing but cause speculation. It causes people to call in tips that don't mean anything, that you're taking sources away from the investigation because Joe Schmo down the street thinks that my family owns a cemetery. We own a funeral home. Like, where in the hell do you get up with this stuff? And not you. I'm saying the public.
And so that, Chris, that's why it is great that you're here, because we want to clear this up and help you get it out. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris, when it comes to the general public, they're always going to be calling in crazy tips and doing crappy things. And all we can do is say, that's not us. We are not doing that. But
it doesn't
and
matter,
I
though.
did want to clear
That
it
does
up.
not matter.
I
Doesn't
did want
matter
to clear it
one
up,
iota.
Chris. I did reach out to you on March 17th, publicly and privately. You responded to me publicly. You asked me to ask my question publicly. I did. You didn't respond. I reached out to you privately again. So I have reached out to you.
Where in the public? Where?
I reached out to you on Facebook. I reached out to you on Facebook Messenger privately. You've never read my message.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of the bullshit that I get in Facebook.
No, that's fine. That's
I'm
fine.
not-
I just want to make it clear that
Can I explain to you?
yeah.
You send me messages along with thousands of other people.
I understand that. And that's why I took it public. And you did respond to me and asked me to ask my question publicly because you wanted whatever answer you were going to give to be public to clear it up.
What was the question that you asked me? Since I neglected your question.
And
What
that's not
was
what
your
I'm
question?
saying. That's not what I'm saying. I want to make it clear that I haven't not tried to reach out to you.
and Chris, I know you're mad. God, I can feel it, I can hear it, and I understand it. You've got to believe me when I tell you this. Please, if you can dial it back a bit and get us some of these answers and let us help you clear up this bull so it doesn't interfere anymore. And like I said, you're always going to have crazy people interfering and coming up with rumors, and it's so maddening and frustrating, and I hate it. It pisses me off more than anything. And anybody that knows.
First of all, I don't do rumors. I've never said any rumors about anything. I don't spread lies or rumors because you're not supposed to, according to the Bible. And you're not supposed to lie either, because God does not like that.
Knows me, knows
It
that.
pisses you off? You're not in our shoes.
I know.
You haven't been in our shoes.
Okay, well, you don't know that, but I haven't been in your shoes and missing a child, no. But believe me, I can understand what you're going through, and what I'm saying is we can help you, Chris. We can help you. All right. Anybody here in this chat that asked about the cemetery, it's because somebody else brought it up. Just tell us.
Exactly. And my question comes back to, where do these people come up with this crazy crap?
That's the $1,000,000 question. I don't know.
Yeah,
Let's
online.
clear it up. Let's clear it up for you. Let us help you.
You're saying, I believe, Chloe, you're saying online. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm sorry, I said that. There's a lot
That's
of
Stacy. Yeah.
crazy people online, and just to let you know, and I understand you get lot of messages. I reached out to you when Sebastian first went missing too, to see if we could help in any way. Oh,
Yeah, but Chris, I understand your anger, but I'm telling you, please let us help you, okay? We're not here to point fingers at you or whatever, but the problem is, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Chris, when the public is asked to help and then no information is provided, then people, because of social media, and social media is here to stay, unfortunately, this never used to be a problem, never, until social media, and it's terrible. I will be the first one to admit it's terrible. But let us help you clear it up, okay? So you don't own a cemetery and you don't own a funeral home, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, everybody, stop with that bullshit, all right?
And here, let me add this to the thing. We don't own a private plane. We don't own 78 pieces of property. We
Mhm.
don't own a private yacht. What else do you guys want to come up saying that we own? Like we're millionaires or something. Like we've got this money growing off trees, which, by the way, it'd be great if we did, because I guarantee we wouldn't need anybody's help because he'd have been home by now.
Right, no, I understand. No, I completely understand. Okay, but understand when the public is asked to help with social media, this is what social media does. And it can be your
worst nightmare.
or your best friend.
Yes.
And let us help it. And I can give you examples. I can have you talk to people that have said, yes, the people at Web Sleuths, they've helped us. They've been great. Okay.
Yes.
But hey guys, I understand why Chris is angry, because it's coming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Horrible crap about him. Okay. And his family. I get the anger.
The thing is, people would not have been angry, first of all, if the man didn't look like a big fat sourpuss, wasn't a manipulator, wasn't a hollerer, and blaming everybody else instead of himself. That's the narcissist. When they blame everybody else and they're the cool one, better watch out for that one. I was married to one.
So we're going to help you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let my cat out before she drives everybody crazy. So I apologize. So hang on. Chloe, is there anything you'd like to say while I let my cat out before she drives me nuts?
I will ask the question. I'll actually read you the message I sent you. This was March 17th. Good afternoon, Chris. I wrote this in a chat you're involved with, but I'm worried it may be lost because there's so much chatter. First, let me say I'm a Tennessee private investigator and have been praying and actively bringing awareness to Sebatian from day one. His case is near and dear to my heart. I had a question. I know Sebatian went to his dad's every other weekend or so. Did you come home on those weekends? Not a specific date, but just in general. Or did Katie come and stay with you? Are you often gone during the week? Just curious about Sebastian's day-to-day dynamic with his parents. And then I messaged you again after I posted that question publicly. You asked me to post it publicly, and I did, and then I wasn't answered. And I said, hey, Chris, just messaging again. So it'll be at the top. I know you said you get a ton of messages.
So, and again, we understand that you get a ton of.
Another thing, people have this thing about dad, Seth, being suspicious of him and this and that. He doesn't have, the way I figure and believe, he doesn't have full custody, which he was going to get until this young man went missing. But it was because he didn't have stability. he probably had to get a job and stuff like that to be able to support his son. But why did all of a sudden he come up missing when the real dad was going to get custody? And I could just picture this man getting into that kid's face, screaming and hollering. And as far as the belt thing goes, I was hit with a belt by my stepdad. With a buckle too. Left welt on my leg. And you know what I did? I told him I hated him. I told him he was not my dad. I was got in trouble from my grandmother, but that I was a kid. It's just this kid's probably so scared of him. That's why he messes his pants. He makes a big deal out of it. He probably says stuff about it, derogatory comments to this poor kid. This kid has to go to school wearing that, and they all probably know and make fun of him, which is embarrassing in itself. It's embarrassing for anyone, even the elderly, to wear those things. I am a CNA. Even the elderly, you have to be very careful on what you say, because it's embarrassing. You can't make people embarrassed with something that you may have caused. Because that one kid that died, he was able to go to the bathroom and stuff, and he's about the same age when he died. But they had him in briefs and stuff like that, and he couldn't use the bathroom only a couple seconds for a certain thing, and maybe a couple minutes to go to number 2. And then I've heard other stories, and they're all these kids that have autism or something in that order. I don't know. People get off on it. It seems that they get off on doing that. It's disgusting. And that, if a kid can't trust the family to tell, and don't tell me that dang story of the stupid CPS case that he told a lie. Kids do not go to school, tell their teachers, make up something, especially kids with types of disorders like that. I have a great niece that's got chromosome issues in her brain. And I've seen many kids with autism and stuff like that because I ride the short bus. I'm disabled, just another type of disabled, PTSD and stuff. But no, I don't see where you're coming from, because you make everybody not like you. These people might, but
Messages. We absolutely understand that. Is there somebody else in our chat room? I can't see it.
Heather.
Heather, do you want to come up? I guess she does.
I'm here.
Oh, she is? Okay. Oh, hi, Heather. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
Okay.
There's a lot of talk. I didn't really have a chance to say hello.
And this Heather is the other private investigator.
Yeah, I know who Heather is.
Okay. Heather, would you like to say anything?
Well, so I spoke with them earlier today, and obviously, as you know, Mr. Proudfoot did message me and ask for a number so he could come in, and I think that it is past due. I think that it's a good thing for Mr. Proudfoot to address some of the allegations that are being made. I would like to have the opportunity, like I said to him earlier today, it's good for us, Chloe and I, to have access to them, to be able to, when we get this information, instead of having to go around them to other sources to try to get the answers to those questions, to actually be able to come to him for those answers and try to clear them up directly. So I'm glad he's here. I really am. Even though he's
angry, I am too. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled.
I'm glad he's here, and I've spoken to him before, and he's been very upset with me before. But once he calms down, I think maybe we can get somewhere. Maybe we can get somewhere.
Be careful
Yeah.
with that. He might, it's heard through the grapevine, he may be looking for wife number 6.
Okay, so let's address something real quick with your
Okay.
viewers who say I'm drunk and belligerent. No, I'm just a pissed off dad. So let's get that real clear.
Hey, everybody,
You're
if any,
always
okay,
pissed off.
mods,
So if you want to keep your comments and that's how your audience wants to play this game,
no,
then no, I'm not going to clear up anything or turn the chat off. If you want to clear this up, let's get it right. And let's take all the stupid people out of this equation and answer the deals.
okay, Chris,
I'll guarantee you I'm smarter than you are. Because smart people don't sit there and put the blame on everybody else. You freaking just like, am I a recovering alcoholic? And with that, I was in rehab, and you have to admit you have a problem, which you don't think you do. And you have to admit that it's your fault, and nobody else did it, but it's your fault.
hang on. Mods, if anybody says anything rude about any of our guests, I want you to ban them, kick them out, okay?
It's like this, if you ain't got nothing factual about me to say, keep your mouth shut.
Well, okay, but Chris, they don't know if it's factual.
Exactly. So that's the best recommendation I can give them.
Well, but they want to ask questions, and let me tell you why.
Questions are one thing, not a statement where I'm belligerent and I'm drunk, because guess what, folks? I could read the comments that you post.
I know, and I'm telling everybody, if anybody says anything rude, they're booted from chat. Mods, if you could boot them. Stacy, could you get Ping over here to help us? Anybody?
And the other part of this is if it's nothing in regards to Sebatian, I really don't give a shit, people.
No, and I agree, Chris. And I mean, I don't know if you heard, I didn't want to discuss.
Oh, I asked a lot of questions and she wouldn't discuss it. Absolutely.
I think it's semantics at this point. He's been missing for 2 months, and I don't know how his bathroom habits are going to help me find him.
Exactly. Mind you that children with autism do have bladder and bowel movement issues to control themselves. But I'm not really worried that people can't read and do their own.
Well, but Chris, let me
tell you. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and care about that either.
Let me tell you why that was brought up. Okay, it's because of what Seth said. Seth said at his house he didn't.
Yes, you are correct. No, you are correct. You just hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
You just hit the nail on the head. Seth has opened his mouth. He has said a lot of things he probably shouldn't. And he needs to learn how to close it, because quite honestly, none of that has anything to do with finding Sebatian.
Right. And you know what? But Chris, let's
First of all, Seth is his father. He's had him over to his house, so he ought to know his child. You aren't his dad. You aren't even a spokesperson.
keep it that way, because Seth has said he is not going to do that anymore, and he hasn't.
Bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That Sunday when I went to that vigil and spoke to Seth, very calmly, very respectfully, we were having a good conversation. While everybody stood behind me and would snap them little pictures and stuff, Heather came up in the conversation. She saw us. It was not a aggressive conversation. It was actually a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it wasn't 3 hours later. Seth was on YouTube on somebody else's show, sitting there. He's blaming Katie, my wife, for Sebatian's disappearance.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unless you got cold hard facts, which you don't open your mouth.
Then who are you supposed to freaking look at? He's been gone a little over 2 months. Supposedly, walked out the door. All the doors are locked. One has a keypad. walked on the porch and just automatically grew wings and flew away. And if he gets in those woods and any of that stuff, because there's bears and probably mountain lions and all that stuff down there, snakes, you got to worry about that stuff too.
Because all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself because you're assuming.
Say that everybody is grieving and handling this situation differently. I won't comment on if I agree with any of the ways that people are acting at this point. I do think, in the last week we've been trying to build a bridge. And I know it's difficult and it's not going to be just clean and perfect. But I think if we can all just refocus and try to not focus on the other things people have done that make you angry.
So here, let me explain to y'all something that y'all don't get a chance to see. Because unfortunately, we're meeting on a very bad circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Seth can contest to this. So, Seth comes to Tennessee. He gets his job in the security force. He wants to be law enforcement. He has had a dream of being law enforcement since I have known him.
Okay.
There was a chance for something that came up, and I called him and said, look, I think you should apply for this. I think you'd be great at it, which is the job he currently has.
Okay.
Now, he gets accepted. He's excited. He calls me and says, thank you, man. I really appreciate you helping me that. I have been a supporter and a cheerleader for him this whole time. But y'all don't get to see that. And Seth's not going to tell you that. During the middle of the training, Seth decided one day he wants to call me, tell me he doesn't think he's going to complete it. But I told him, I said, look, you're going to sit there and you're going to go back in there and you're going to complete this training because your son thinks you hang the moon and the sun. So you need to go in there and prove to your son that dreams and goals can be met.
Mm-hmm.
I have been very, very supportive of him trying to do these things. I had told him on Sunday, I supported him then, I would support him now. But I will not stand by and watch somebody be straight up disrespectful and accuse people and say things that have absolutely no bearing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay. Well, again, I just, if I could just step in.
I mean, Chris, I would love for us to refocus and talk about not necessarily the investigation that we can't talk about, but what has been done, what you understand about dog tracks, what you understand about the circumstances. We could go on and on all night, and I know we have a lot of really big feelings that are valid. But I think Heather would agree. We would just really love to redirect this back to Sebatian because the anger doesn't solve anything.
It's not truly all anger. It's disappointment.
No, and I'm not saying that. And I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, at this point, it's just
not helping find Sebatian.
Yeah, and it's like an energy vampire, and we're all tired. And I mean, I can't imagine how tired you are. I know how tired I am.
That's what narcissists do. They're energy vampires. You have to go and draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, they're going to draw it out and continue doing it and acting the fool because he hasn't stopped doing it. He claims everybody else is doing it. Well, it's his anger that makes people suspicious. I mean, listen to it.
So I would love to redirect back to what you know and what you think.
And then I have some questions that I hope you can answer that will help clear things up.
I'll answer questions unless it's something I have been told by law enforcement that I cannot answer. I've said that
Understood.
from day one, and I'm telling you now, it has not changed. So ask your questions.
Did you pass the polygraph?
Yes, I sure did with flying colors.
And it was TBI that gave it to you?
Yes, TBI.
Nobody's ever seen. He lies there. And on other ones, he said he didn't. When he was talking to that one woman and getting all flirty and stuff, he said he didn't pass it or didn't take one. And that was after this. That's what I'm telling you. He's a habitual liar.
Gave it to me along with another agency.
Okay.
No, that was kept quiet because it's nobody. We kept it all quiet.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's great that you're
Well,
telling us
see,
now.
right, and you know, Seth knew about it the day on that Tuesday when I took it and
Mhm.
passed it. They called and told him that I passed it.
And okay, well, maybe he was told he couldn't say anything.
No, no, he was told he could say something. They told him so he would try to keep his rhetoric down. That's why they told him. And I have the text message where they asked me if they could tell him, and I said, I have listened to y'all from the beginning. I'm listening to you now, so please do what you feel is best.
Okay, so you passed the polygraph with flying colors. Let me ask you this. People in chat are asking, did you tear down any posters of Sebatian, you or anyone you know?
That is a straight up no, and I can't believe people would think I would tear down flyers or posters of my missing stepson.
Okay, but
Which,
again,
you know, another thing
And
which
I
is kind
will.
of funny that you bring this up because some people, and yes, they are pertinent to the investigation, have said that there's a video floating around of me tearing these things down.
mhm.
If you got it, post it.
Oh,
Because
I
if you
agree.
ain't got it, shut up.
And I mean, I'll say on record from myself, I have never seen that.
And I
Exactly.
also want to
Because
say,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and I want to say on record that in my conversation earlier with Chris and Katie, Katie said she had one request of me, and that was that when I do these interviews, that I, at some point in the interview, remind people to hand out the flyers and put them up everywhere.
Please, all we're begging. I don't know how to beg you even more. I don't know what it's going to take for America, the world, whoever to understand. We are begging you to hang posters, talk to whomever, spread the words, keep your eyes open, and when you find something, don't wait 2 weeks to make a report. Because let me tell you something, that's what's been going on. Some of the leads that are coming in are 2 and 3 weeks old.
Why do you
Instead
think
of when you
that is?
see something, you pick up the phone immediately and you
Right.
call the cops.
Yeah.
Don't call your best friend and
Right.
say, "Hey, I think I've seen this kid."
Yeah, but the thing is, right here, his wife, Sebastian's mother, called him when he came up missing, called him and said he was missing, and he's the one that called the police. He didn't call 911 though. He called the regular number, so he's got a hotline right into the police thing.
Don't call these investigators. No offense, Chloe and Heather. You don't call them first. You don't call Seth. You don't call anybody but law enforcement only and make your report
And I will
immediately.
say, we've received tips that maybe haven't been called into law enforcement, but we call them in. And we also receive tips that have been called into law enforcement, but the person that called the tip in didn't get any feedback when they were told they were going to be called back. And so they were worried that maybe it didn't get looked into enough. So I don't want you
So
to think
for
we're
the
not
for the record,
passing
right?
tips
So
to law
for the
enforcement.
record, I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I and some of the information that Seth has. You don't. And I understand that. And I'm sorry that we can't give you every single thing.
Thing is though that I don't know why they call these people these this dingleberry and they don't let the dad know. Why is that? Even though he's supposed to have custody. And he is his father, and he's worried.
Under the sun, I wish we truly could. But unfortunately, we can't.
Right.
But when you do make a report and you give them a name and a number, you tell them the location, you tell them a very detailed description and everything. It's already out there. There's a keypad on the front door. You don't need a key to unlock and lock my front door.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to add something to that. Like I told Chris earlier, everybody that's involved in this case is under a microscope. I've been ripped to shreds. They've been ripped to shreds. Seth has been ripped to shreds. I mean, like the public gets a hold of somebody in the spotlight and they dig into them and they pull up anything that they can about them. And some of it's true and some of it's not. It doesn't help find Sebatian. And that's where we all need to get on the same page and regroup and just make the decision right here, right now, to ignore the rumors, to clear up misinformation, and just to get on track so that we can start trying to find Sebatian.
Now,
Right. If we can keep parties involved in this investigation focused on that and staying off of YouTube and other aspects of social media and playing the game, okay,
Yes.
I'm sure we would all benefit greatly, and this would completely change narratives and the direction, and it would straight focus completely on Sebatian.
Well, let's do this. This call, this podcast or Web Sleuths podcast that we're on right now, we can make a pact right now. That's what we're doing right here, right
But
now.
but here's the other thing. I appreciate you want to make that pact, but you know exactly who I'm referring to. That needs to be done publicly as well then.
well, all we can do is what we can do here tonight. So, but Chris, there's a couple of questions, and then there is somebody that wants, well, there is somebody that wants to come on the panel, and I don't know if you want them on here, but I'll ask, well, let me ask you these questions first, okay? Everybody wants to know, what do you think happened to Sebatian? What do you think happened?
I don't know. For the love of God, I wished I had an answer. I wished we had something to go off of,
So,
but we
Chris,
don't.
I asked
wished.
Seth this a few weeks ago,
It's not I
and
wished.
so just no
I'm gonna
thought
hear you out.
in your gut, spit it out. Doesn't matter if it sounds completely off the wall. What is your knee-jerk reaction to what happened?
Sebatian walked out of the house, stepped off the porch, and has vanished into thin air. That is what I think, because that is what I know.
But what do you mean you know?
I thought you weren't there.
I've been part of the investigation since day one.
Okay.
And if anybody else out there that's got some information in regards to where Sebatian has went, because last time I checked, there's not one shred of evidence.
You know he walked off the porch is what I'm asking.
I'm telling you, unless this kid is just in the thin air on my front porch, he sure had to go somewhere, so he had to walk off the front porch. Now, if you're trying to insinuate somebody was in my house or somebody's taking that child outside of my house, say
I'm not
that.
insinuating anything. I'm asking, do you know that he walked out your front door? Do you know?
That he went out the front door?
Or any door?
Is that what you're asking?
Do you know?
Yeah, that's what we're asking.
Okay, thank you. I just needed confirmation. I don't play games here. So, just to make this real crystal clear, there's a back door. Every door in the house, when Katie got up that morning, was locked.
Okay.
Since it's already out there, there's a keypad on the front door. You don't need a key to unlock and lock my front door.
Mm-hmm.
But you need a key to lock every other door. And every other door was locked, folks.
So it
Did
had,
Katie do that?
Do
And he
what?
did Katie make sure all the other doors were locked, and could have Sebastian just walked out? Could he have walked out the front door?
Every door was locked.
so what you're saying is that the only possibility is the front door. Is that what you're saying?
I am saying the most conceivable way possible that this makes sense is that he walked out the front door.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Did he walk out without his shoes on? Is that what you believe?
My statement earlier is real simple.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say, some of you that's on my channel, he didn't have shoes on. He's in his socks. I can't help it. There's something fishy.
Sebastian walked out of the house not wearing any shoes.
Could he have been running and scared of something?
Don't know. He could. It's a young boy. It's dark outside. God only knows.
Okay. Now, there is somebody that has been asking to come on, and Gray Hughes, he would like to talk to you. Would you
You
like
can
him?
bring that. You can bring that man on board because I've talked to him. I respect him, and I will talk to him.
Gray, I just sent you the Facebook link.
I don't like this man, Gray Hughes, because he had 4 friends with Madeline Soto, that little girl that ended up dying or being unalived. And they were saying, oh, bipolar, this and that, and the other. No. Because she didn't have any emotion. That has nothing to do with it. I don't like Gray Hughes.
So jump on up.
Guy too.
Okay, Gray? I just sent it to your Facebook. So he'll be jumping on here shortly. Stacy, can you keep an eye out, because I can't see because of my stupid computer.
Hey, in the meantime, I would like to, since Chris is here and this has become very public, I would like to mention something that we spoke about earlier. Chris and Katie did actually confirm that the clothes that he was wearing at Texas Roadhouse that night were accounted for. And I believe they were the articles of clothing that were used for the scent dog. Am I correct when I say that, Chris?
Yes, those clothes are in the possession of law enforcement.
Great. And so do we know what Sebastian was wearing when he left?
From the house that night?
Yes.
The description is still the same. It hasn't changed from 60 days ago. However, I will say this much. Some of the information that's out on some of these posters and flyers, we have actually requested to have some of that changed, but it hasn't happened. So I'll walk you through what the description actually should be. Sebastian was wearing long black pants. Think of the 1970s style Adidas style pants. You know, had the white stripes on the side. That style of pants on. He had a long sleeve shirt, not a sweatshirt, not a hoodie. A long, the one that she is referring to that collapsed. Honestly, we know that the one collapsed. But we don't believe they had any in-person school.
Okay. Was there a reason for behind that?
If Katie's there, maybe she could tell us.
Does she want to come on?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's absolutely
Because
fine.
it's like this, people, it's enough as it is. I'm not putting her through this. And I'm sure that right there is going to cause a big stir and say, well, I'm controlling. No, I'm not controlling. I'm a husband who protects his wife.
Well, you will only get polite questions here.
Let's go back to the Sebatian deal.
Okay.
Okay. Katie reported she heard a thud. And that's it.
But didn't she
knock her
ask?
off and
So
go to bed.
I've seen different reports of she heard a thud. She said, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you need to go to bed. I've seen other reports that Sebastian responded back to her. If he did respond back to her, do you know what he said?
Yeah, he replied, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I mean,
No, I mean, we're clearing things up.
right.
That's all this is. Let's just clear it up, you know?
There was a noise. Katie heard it. She responded. Sebastian answered.
Okay, and see, people out there, they want to help, and it feels like that you just are like, that pissed you off that we even asked that. You know,
What pisses me off is when the statement is out there. There was a thud. She asked him what, he responded back and moving on.
And around what time was that?
I'm not going to give you details as far as.
I mean, Katie gave details, but I just.
Well, guess what? That is Katie. I'm not giving you those kind of details.
No, she gave details publicly.
That is fine.
Okay.
Katie can give you that. I am not giving you that information. I will tell you this. It was between the time we were on the phone to the time we got off the phone. That's what I'll give you. That's it.
Has Sebastian ever left the house barefoot that you know of?
Has Sebastian gone outside of the house barefooted? Yes. Before, has he ran off? No.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's how you were asking it, but
no, I'm glad
I'm going to answer it.
That's perfect. No, that's great. And again, I swear to you, Chris, we're not trying to be hostile. In fact, I've spoken on this live channel before and said, if Chris ever came here, we would treat him with total respect and honesty. And I really am trying to help because I want people to get behind you and Katie, Chris, because I want people to help find Sebastian. And it's just such a bizarre thing. I mean,
It's a bizarre case, yes, it very much so is.
And so Sebastian leaves, but he's not on anybody's camera. Is that what the police have said? Or are you allowed to say?
I can't go into details on that, but here's what I will tell you that's public. Our subdivision is very dark.
Mm-hmm.
There's no street lights in the subdivision whatsoever. If you go online, Google it, whatever, you'll see that there's absolutely no street lights in the subdivision. None.
Right.
Is there a possibility that some cameras may not pick up somebody walking in front of them because how dark it is? Yes.
Okay. That would be the only thing that would make sense, really.
Right. So,
well, he even told me, I remember when he told me that, like, even some detectives didn't show up on the cameras.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah. That makes perfect sense then. Because that's been driving everybody crazy. But if it's so dark.
And I know, and it's hard for it, trust me, for everyone out.
Ain't driving, that's not the stuff that's driving me crazy.
To go back to regular school. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. And it's not really from school. I mean,
because I just wrote some things down. Have you had, and I may have asked this and I forgot, Chris, my mind is sometimes mush. Have you had search dogs inside the house and outside?
Yes, I was right.
And what did the dogs hit outside?
So, as you know, if anybody has followed Mr. Gray's, what he was talking about, the dog and the trail and the scent and the overlay on the picture. So, there anywhere from 13 to 18 different dogs have been involved in this search. Now, on day one, there was 5 dogs. 5. There's an audio dispatch tape that's been released. I don't know who released it. Whatever, I don't have it, but you'd have to dig it and find it. In that audio tape, you actually hear that the deputy sheriff does state that the dog hints toward a scent, and he takes over off to the retention pond and the construction site next door.
Okay.
Now, other dogs did the exact same thing. Now, am I going to say every single dog? No, but I do know of at least 3 dogs that went on the same scent trail, same path. The rest of the dogs, I'm not going to tell you that they are 100% honest and perfect and accurate, because
Sure.
honestly, dogs are only probably 25% reliable when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to a scent.
Okay.
Now, 8 days, I've had dogs in my house.
He's stupid because dogs, what do you think they sniff you for? I mean, my mom had a German Shepherd, or not my mom, my grandma had a German Shepherd that my grandma had pictures of us on her TV. The dog went up and sniffed it and started whimpering. And he wasn't trained, but the dog missed us. He's a dork. Panty face.
But, Ray, hold on a second. But for the record, Kitty can speak when she so chooses, and she's done interviews without me.
No, I'm not talking about interviews.
But she spoke without me.
Okay.
I want to clear up something that Chris said about Sebastian going to live with Seth. And Chris, you may ask, what does this have to do with Sebastian missing? It's all part of the narrative. It could mean he ran away. And that is, Chris, did you not say that he was not looking forward to going to live with his father?
Yes, I did state that.
Seth, did you know this?
Nope.
Chris, do you want to elaborate?
And I'll tell you why.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will be glad to elaborate.
Become a question.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on. I'm sorry, Seth. Start over. And then Chris, we'll go to you. Seth, go ahead.
But I know why I was putting him in online school. He needed his therapy to actually have been started with ABA, so on and so forth, before I put him back into the situation, because he's not ready for certain things.
Okay. So he was going to go.
I'm not going to set my son up for failure. I want my son to succeed.
He was going to homeschool until he was ready to go back to regular school. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. And it's not really homeschool. I mean, it's an online school.
Okay. Online, right? Online school. That's a better term. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said homeschool. Right. Online school. Totally different.
Really quick, Chris, the day that they had on Sunday with the spaghetti pancakes and bragging to family and BJ's and Texas Roadhouse and bowling and all of these, like, it sounds like the best day ever. Was that like a normal weekend for them, or was it like, I don't know. Was that like their normal weekend?
Right. Well, do me a favor. Let's pause that question, because you just diverted away from what she asked, and let's clear this up.
Okay. Go ahead.
We want the facts. Let's get the facts straight.
Okay.
So yes, I did tell you Sebastian was not excited about going to his father's house because online school. Seth was aware of this because Seth stood in my house with me, Katie, and Sebastian in my kitchen and had this conversation where Seth asked his son about, you don't want to go to online school? And Sebastian's retort was, no, I don't. But I don't really care about playing tit for tat. I understand that this may be a reason why he wanted to run away, so to speak, if that's the case.
Right.
But we're not going into this. We're not going to play this tit for tat on social media. We're not doing this.
Okay. Seth, go ahead.
Chris, unbeknownst to you, had already talked to Sebastian. He knew this wouldn't be a permanent thing. And me and him had already spoke.
Well, that right there is a conversation you should have had with Katie and myself about what your plans were.
I'm sorry, do you want?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
What Seth was saying is that if I had known the conversation that him and Sebastian had, then I would know the whole thing. But the downside is that's where Seth should have had that same conversation with me and Katie, and that didn't happen. But this goes right back to here's the thing.
You know, I think Sebastian, that young man, is old enough to be able to understand, and they shouldn't have to, because it's going to be him that's going to do it, not you two. I don't get where you're coming from, Mr. Stinky Feet.
If you're saying that because he didn't want to go live with his dad, he potentially ran away, is that a possibility? Sure, we'll put that out there.
Okay.
But quite honestly, what goes on between Seth, me, his mom, and our households is none of the public's business. If it had something to do with his disappearance, I would understand that, but it doesn't.
Well, we don't know that.
Well, I understand that. That's why we're making this clear.
And that's
Right.
why I asked about his day, because I
Let's
didn't
go back to the
know.
day. Okay, go
I
ahead,
didn't
Miguel.
know. Okay, so Chris, you don't know me very well. I have 2 decades of experience working with autistic children in different capacities. So I do understand they are all different. I do understand that that day may have been very overstimulating for him. So that's why I was asking if that was a normal day for him. And if it wasn't, that just gives me more information that maybe he was very overstimulated that day.
Chris?
All right, so one more time, I'm so sorry.
I was just saying, in my experience with autistic children, obviously they're all different. But if this was not a normal day for Sebastian on Sunday when he went and did all of these things, and it sounds like he was gone from home for a while, if this wasn't a normal day for him, would this have been an overstimulating day for him? Is this something normal? Does he normally go to BJ's and bowling and all of these things on a weekend? Or was this kind of like a special thing? And if it was a special thing, what caused it to be special? Was there an occasion?
If it was a special thing, a mother and a son bonding and just having a good time.
I'm not being ugly at all.
I'm not. I'm making the statement.
Is this a normal day for them on a weekend? For them to do all
our days fluctuate. Monday through Friday, we're a working family, just like everybody else out there. And when the weekend comes, that's when you get a lot of stuff done. You go a lot of places, you do a lot of things. And a lot of times that's where, you go and spend time with your kids and do extra things. Sebastian's not in sports like most kids. So we don't spend ball time at the ballpark. When Seth has Sebastian on the weekends, he goes and does fishing and things like that with Sebastian just as well. I mean, Seth works long hours. I work long hours.
And I'm not saying any of that is suspicious at all, Chris. I'm just asking if that was normal. Because if it wasn't normal and he was overstimulated, that could be a reason for him to have ran out of the house.
No.
Okay.
He was not overstimulated.
Okay, so that wasn't one of the possible reasons for him to leave.
Here's what I'll say. Everything is on the table. Nothing has been taken off the table, period. That's the same statement law enforcement has made. That's the same statement I'm going to tell you every single day in and day out.
Katie might son be your mother and father. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Say it one more time.
Do you not want to say that? Well, we can move on. So
No. I want to hear it.
There's a rumor out there, Chris,
Yeah.
that your mom and your dad have Sebastian. It's been brought up to me.
Seth, darn good and well, you got a question about my
I'm just
mother.
asking.
You pick up the
I didn't take
phone
him
and you
somewhere
call
to
her.
like a boot camp or anything like that, and Katie just thought I wouldn't accept it.
I don't think
Hold
Seth's
on.
being accusatory. I think he's just trying to clear up a bunch of BS that's been online.
Right, and I'm trying, and I'm telling you, if he's had this suspicion, he's got my mother's phone number. He can pick up the phone and call her. She is not afraid to
No,
answer any
Chris, I'm not
questions.
saying you. I don't want to talk to your mom. I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to Katie.
Well, it's real simple, Seth.
To put it to the rest.
You have seen the video footage of Seth on Sunday. Don't tell me you hadn't. I know you have. You sat in the room
No, I
with
haven't.
all the agents.
No, they didn't show me the video footage, buddy.
So you didn't see, you weren't sitting in a room
Wait a
with
minute.
law enforcement, the district attorney, when they showed you a video, when you wanted proof of life, saying that you hadn't seen proof since Friday. When you've been at my house the first 3 damn days.
Sunday, buddy.
Chris, let Seth speak. Go ahead, Seth.
Chris, they showed me video proof of him coming out of Texas Roadhouse on Sunday.
On a Sunday night. You damn right.
Just, Chris,
Seth, I got a problem with you sitting here making these accusations. Because if you got a problem with them, guess what?
let's squash it.
I think we're just trying to talk things out, and I don't even know.
In his face. I bet you he would be right in his face. Just like I imagine he probably was to that young man. In his face when he had made mistakes. In his face when he felt like being mean. I mean, come on, he's been married 5 times. And you can't tell me this man doesn't have issues. I wouldn't marry him. In fact, I only married one, and that was enough. But I don't, oh my gosh.
Say it one more time.
Do you not want to say that? Well, we can move on. So
No. I want to hear it.
There's a rumor out there, Chris,
Yeah.
that your mom and your dad have Sebatian. It's been brought up to me.
Seth, you know darn good and well, you got a question about my
I'm just
mother.
asking.
You pick up the
I didn't
phone.
take him somewhere to like a boot camp or anything like that, and Katie just thought I wouldn't accept it.
I don't think
Hold on.
Seth's being accusatory. I think he's just trying to clear up a bunch of BS that's been online.
Right, and I'm trying, and I'm telling you, if he's had this suspicion, he's got my mother's phone number. He can pick up the phone and call her. She is not afraid to answer
No,
any
Chris, I'm not
questions.
saying you. I don't want to talk to your mom. I want to talk to you, and I want to talk to Katie.
Well, it's real simple, Seth.
To put it to the rest.
You have seen the video footage of Seth on Sunday. Don't tell me you hadn't. I know you have. You sat in the room with all the agents.
No, they didn't show me the video footage, buddy.
So you didn't see, you weren't sitting in a room
Wait a minute.
with law enforcement, the district attorney, when they showed you a video, when you wanted proof of life, saying that you hadn't seen proof since Friday. When you've been at my house the first 3 damn days.
Sunday, buddy.
Chris, let Seth speak. Go ahead, Seth.
Chris, they showed me video proof of him coming out of Texas Roadhouse on Sunday.
On a Sunday night. You damn right.
Just, Chris,
Seth, I got a problem with you sitting here making these accusations. Because if you got a problem with them, guess what?
let's squash it.
I think we're just trying to talk things out, and I don't even know if this should be public, honestly.
Same.
Okay, here's all the public knowledge you need on this deal. Law enforcement has talked to my parents. my whole family. Once again, the statement is true, what law enforcement says. Just because you hear a rumor doesn't make it true.
Chris,
And
what
I
I
don't
want
think
to
he
do
said it was true. I think he's just trying to clarify.
He said
That's not clarifying. No, stop. No, stop sitting here trying to defend his actions. Stop.
Okay.
the fact is, Chris, is I'm trying to squash the rumor. We're both here squashing the rumor.
Seth, there is no rumor. You know my parents were not with Katie on Sunday.
That's all I'm doing, Chris.
No, you're causing a problem because you know damn good and well where my parents were at their house on Sunday night. They weren't near Katie. They weren't near Sebatian. And if you got a problem, all you got to do is pick up the phone and call her. Be an adult. Be a responsible adult. And just call her.
Chris. Can you hear me, Chris?
Oh, I can hear.
You know, who lost this young man? Was that you two? I think it was. So you're not too responsible either. And I'm tired of these women making excuses and trying to do something that's stupid. I wouldn't even freaking entertain this dude. It's like he talking to me.
Because all I'm hearing is anger and attitude from you. What I'm trying
And you
to
should,
do
Seth. You should. Because what you're doing is bullshit and you know it.
Okay, stop.
Okay,
People are
all right.
talking over each
Now, does this sound before when they was talking about at that vigil? He got up and supposedly talked really calm with Seth and all this stuff, and they were gonna work together and all this stuff and all this fairy tale world. Does that sound like they're working together? No. He's just an angry, stupid dumbbell. It's just mean. Got a mean streak.
other.
Enough.
Seth, go, and then Chris, go. Please, Seth, and then Chris. Thank you.
Chris, a unified front squashes rumors together. That's all I am stating.
Okay, Chris.
This is a rumor floating around, and I would like us to squash it.
Yeah, I think that is a great rumor to try to squash. That one's on Facebook, and the rumor is actually that about your mom, her car being parked at like Warsham's, and him getting.
Okay, so here's the answer. The final answer to this.
It's not just an online rumor because people have driven up to me and personally spoken about this.
Okay,
right.
ladies and gentlemen, can I make the statement?
I wish
This is very simple. This conversation has nothing to do on social media. You want to have this conversation, Seth? You call me, you get Heather, you get Chloe on the phone.
that's
Hell,
fine.
I'll do you one better, and I will get Bobby and Carter on the phone, and we'll all sit down and have this little fucking powwow.
We're not going to have a powwow like that, but I would
Well, then guess what?
the situation, and I would love for it to be private because I believe a lot of what is happening right now should not be public.
So explain to me why you don't want Bobby and Carter involved.
I didn't say I didn't want Bobby and Carter involved. I said I was referring to your tone, which is very angry.
Oh, I'm very pissed.
I know that. I think we just all need to take a breath because no one is accusing anyone of anything. We are trying to dispel things because in turn, dispelling these things will take
You're so full of
some
shit.
of the BS off of you.
Whoa. That was uncalled for. And Chris, I mean, I do understand your anger, but I know these ladies. I don't know Seth. I just know what I've seen. But these ladies are not full of shit.
I didn't say they're full of shit. I was referring to Seth being full of shit with his comment.
Well, that doesn't help matters.
No, it doesn't. So when you brought him on the show and he wants to start this shit, that isn't going to answer questions. It's going to spiral into the shit that's in. So we can set this shit aside and answer the questions that you got.
Okay. I would like to move on very quickly, but I will say the public opinion is not going to improve unless we can take a deep breath.
That's exactly right.
And I know you are frustrated.
You have no idea what I am.
I'm not saying I know
You
how
don't.
frustrated you are, but I know you are frustrated. And I am not saying that's not valid, but this is not helping.
If it's not helping, then you shouldn't be talking about it on social media.
But
I'm
here's,
trying
As a
to
PI, you should have said, you know what, we're not going to answer that question. We're going to do that privately. That's where that should
I
have
did
went.
say that actually several times,
You
and you
did.
can listen to that recording later.
So let's move on to the next question.
I just got to say one thing. You want the public's help. You want them
We need
to be
them.
behind both of you.
And we
And
need them to find Sebastian.
exactly. And it's a very good chance that somebody in the public
And
will find
that's
him.
my biggest frustration is that we all collectively have to deal with all of this instead of focusing on Sebastian.
Right, and it's a disadvantage to Sebatian. Really, it's sad because we're not any closer to finding him as long as we're all arguing like this.
And mods in chat, you're removing these comments, I hope, because I've been removing some too. And we've got extra people, extra mods in chat. Anything rude that said, they're banned, they're gone. Okay? So we'll get them out there as quickly as possible. And let me go through chat really quickly here to get some more questions here. You've been on here for many hours, and I so appreciate this. I really, really do. So,
Can Chris hear me?
yes, you can.
Can you, well, you can't throw us in a back room so we can talk real quick.
I wish I could. I wish I had that ability, but I don't. I can take you both off, and you can call him. Do you want to do that?
Let's finish this first, and we'll do that after the fact. Let's get these questions out of the way.
Chris, listen, you may not like my opinion, but when we got rumors out there, when you and I squash these rumors, then they stop being rumors and everybody just looks at the people who are spreading them like they are shit. I was not trying to upset you. I'm trying to squash these stupid rumors that are literally filling up my private eye email address, their inbox with crap. Which is crap. It's not helping find Sebastian, so if it gets squashed, then people will stop.
There's one thing I don't do, and that is cause people trouble. I don't go in, email anybody, threaten anybody. I don't email people and be mean or anything like that. But this little boy is lost or something happened to him. And he sure, like I said, sure didn't grow a pair of wings and fly away. And this here is just a diversion and stuff like that. It doesn't help, and it doesn't bring Sebastian home any faster if you can't control yourself. I don't think you can.
Not everybody. Lord knows there's still going to be stupid people out there. But it will stop. It will, I mean, literally, it will stop.
My report is
The
real
only thing I
simple, Seth.
want is to find Sebastian, Chris, and there are rumors out there that we have to put an end to. You may not like them, but we have to put them into them publicly. Because right here, we can end rumors. so people know. When I told them to fuck off, if they didn't like it, they know that I meant fuck off because they don't like it.
So stop right there, Seth. Stop. Let me help you with something real quick. You want rumors to die? You want to stop with all the stuff that's coming up and flooding these PI's inbox? How many terabytes do you want of videos where you have gone out there and you've said some very harsh things that should never have come out? You never should have. And now don't take this the wrong way. That is a conversation for
My
later.
ears swing, bud.
Let me finish.
Things that I put out there.
Once again, you can't talk to a fucking log.
Okay, what? Okay,
Chris,
so
Let me finish.
Chris, that's not productive.
It's not, so let me finish. You all are playing one-sided here.
no, we're not.
I don't think that's fair.
So then tell Seth when I'm talking, let me finish.
Okay, Seth, let him finish.
Yes, Seth, please let him finish.
There's conversations you've had that should have never been out in the public light, and you know it. And because you did that, it started a lot of rumors. Own it, accept it, and move on from it. I told you on Sunday, I supported you. I would be there for you no matter what, how ugly this got. But I'm not going to stand by and watch you disrespect me, my family, my wife, or anybody for that matter. A lot of rumors got started because you went on social media and you opened your mouth and said some things you shouldn't have said. Accept it. I'll show you the videos.
You don't need to show me videos.
Now, in hindsight, that is a conversation you and I need to have offline, away from everybody else, in our own private conversation. You and I, we sit down and we can talk. Literally, Lisa, you had people watch us doing it Sunday at that vigil.
Well,
You know, he does not sit down and talk with him. I don't get where this dude thinks he's coming from. It's lie after lie. He's an habitual liar.
They were snapping pictures because they were trying to get some juicy information.
Trish,
So let's answer.
can we move on to the question?
Yes, please.
Yeah, there's a question here in chat, and I've heard this, and Chris, this is a good one I'd like to clear up. Is it true that Chris told Seth, you will find your son at church?
No.
Okay,
No.
that's
What he stated was if I went to church, maybe I'd find my son.
so in other words, if you went to church and talked to the Lord.
I don't think this man here, Mr. Stinky Feet, knows what a church looks like. And besides, you don't have to go to church. Church is a building. That's all it is. And all you have to do is ask the Lord. I prayed very hard, very hard, very hard that you would be able to find this young man. And what I got was he's hidden in plain sight. This man is exasperating. I don't know how anybody can have a conversation with him without him hollering. Other than that one where he started flirting with her and freaking, just like he does with these people. Oh, let's talk about privately. Freaking disgusting pig.
Lord, is that what you were saying?
Yes, that is what the whole conversation in reference was. Not, you go to a church and you'll find it. Who's
Hold
coming up
on,
with that
Seth.
crap?
I'm sorry, Chris, finish. I'm sorry.
I'm talking because why? I understand. I see where people got that,
Right.
but that is a conversation that Seth and I had privately. I'm sorry, but we're not going to sit here and drag certain things into this. It has nothing to do with it. I told Seth, basically we should all go to church. We should pray. That's exactly what it was in reference to.
Understood. Seth, go ahead. It's your turn now.
There's better ways to have said it, Chris.
Okay, and that's
So you
semantics.
to think
Let's
that I
not.
don't go to church?
Seth, I didn't say anything about you not
That's
going to church or going to
semantics.
church. Can we
Is
go
that
to the
going to
next
find
question?
Sebastian?
No, it's not. Can we
Okay.
move to the next question?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. How about this? Because you guys have been on here for almost 3 hours, and I really appreciate it. And I do think Chris and Seth need to talk off air. Let's talk about what we do know. We do know, and this is how we started out the live stream. We do know.
I think they need a mediator because these two people, because he yells, and I can imagine, I could see him doing it, get in people's face just by the anger. He needs to freaking dang open up his listening ears. You can't hear God when you pray, when you're all you're doing is hollering. You think he likes that? No. I don't know. I can't take much more any more of this stuff. But that's the POS trying to explain himself, which he freaking doesn't explain himself. All he does is holler. My ex-husband used to do that stuff, yell at the kids. I mean, he was mean. I mean, that stuff makes you jump. And my brother was a bully. I guarantee you wouldn't get in front of my brother's face. Do it, neither me. Yeah, I had heard about that guy that called on T-Rev about being your cousin, Mr. Stinky Feet, um, which I have no idea if he is or really is or not, and I don't care. But my grandmother's Native American, was Native American, or American Indian, and that was her last name. She got adopted, but that was her last name, and I'll tell you what, I would denounce you as a relative. I swear. But that's Mr. Stinky Feet going on his rant like he does every other time and wonders why people don't like him. It's the way he talks to Seth and everybody else, and he never talks to man on a man other than Gray Hughes, but Gray Hughes kisses his butt. It's just, it's appalling. I hope they find that young man before it gets too late. It keeps dragging on, and every day that goes by is a scary thing. But I pray he gets found. And I'd like to let y'all go and be safe out there because the world is crazy. It's getting crazier by the minute. And it is. It's getting crazy. But God bless you all, and say a few prayers for this little boy, young man, that they find him and he'd be all right. But with that, I'd like to say goodbye and thanks for watching and listening to my big fat mouth for whatever. But anyway, I gotta find my. It's over here. That mouse doesn't want to work like I want it to. think the dinged because of the dust and stuff. Come on. All right. That said, I'd like to say peace and love. God bless everyone. Like I say, pray for the little boy comes home safely. Thanks for watching.